Across the United States, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, has taken actions that have not only disrupted immigrant lives, but also pierced the heart of Christian communities. From pastors detained to churches raided, and even government use of Scripture to justify enforcement, these stories reveal troubling patterns. Persecution of believers fleeing danger, threats to congregational sanctuaries, and erosion of the wall between church and state. What follows are summaries of recent reports that document these dangers, each illustrating how immigration enforcement can weaponize power against Christians and their faith communities, undermining both religious freedom and America's constitutional principles. From the Colorado Springs Gazette, we have the first story. An Iranian Christian convert, Mehrdad Medipour, who had fled Iran for safety after distributing Bibles, was arrested by ICE in Colorado Springs under disputed claims. Despite a U.S. work permit and asylum parole, he was forcefully seized by 15 agents and denied recourse. Church leaders denounced the government's misrepresentations, warning his deportation risks imprisonment or death, spotlighting ICE's disregard for religious liberty and church-state separation. From the Christian Post, we have a disturbing story about how the Department of Homeland Security has created a summer social media campaign with heavily militarized scenes that include Bible verses from Proverbs 28:1, "Righteous are bold as a lion," and Isaiah 6:8, "Here am I, send me." Reportedly, the Bible verses were used to frame ICE enforcement as divinely sanctioned. Hundreds of faith and civil rights leaders have denounced this as not only Christian nationalism, but as a blasphemous manipulation of Scripture, not to mention an extreme violation of the separation of church and state. From the AP News Service, we have an updated story about a Purdue student following a routine immigration hearing in Manhattan when suddenly the 20-year-old student named Yansu Go, a South Korean and active Episcopalian Christian, was detained by ICE, transferred to Louisiana, and held for 3 nights despite maintaining a valid visa. Her release came only after many public appeals by church leaders, underscoring how immigration enforcement continues to disrupt religious communities and raise concerns about fairness and church-state tensions. Now from The Guardian, in a story called "Pastor Aligned with Pete Hegseth Says Bible Backs ICE Raids." Podcast host Joshua Hames, associated with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's church, is now promoting extremist Christian nationalist doctrine, including demanding public executions, along with claiming the Bible supports ICE raids. His rhetoric not only blurs church-state lines, it endorses politically radical theology and poses alarming threats to pluralism and religious freedom guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. Here's another from the Christian Post called "Congolese Pastor Who Founded a Maine Church Detained by ICE." Basically, ICE forcefully detained a Congolese pastor who founded a church in Maine, claiming he had allegedly overstayed his tourist visa since 2016. He is being held at a facility in New Hampshire. His detention has disrupted a central faith community, and it also raises concerns around religious community stability and potential targeting of Christian leaders. And finally, here is one from the Bulwark called "The Churches Fighting Back Against ICE." It reports that a network of 5,000 churches, mobilized by evangelical pastor Doug Pagitt and Vote Common Good, has launched a rapid response plan to shield worshipers from increasingly aggressive ICE raids onto church property and into churches. They urge churches to do what they have through every period of persecution to provide sanctuary, legal aid, transportation, and moral witnessing, highlighting that the government's immigration enforcement threatens to destroy religious safe spaces and infringes upon the separation of church and state. These stories show that ICE's actions are not just about borders. They reach into the sanctuary, into the heart of Christian communities, and threaten the very principle of church-state separation. If you believe these truths need to be heard, share this message. Please like this video and subscribe. We'd love for you to join us in keeping faith and freedom alive.